Hello, hello. My name is Liku Amadi, founder and attorney of Anasa Law Firm, where I work with consultants and expert service providers to help them establish a solid legal foundation to grow their business. As always, this is not legal advice. It is legal information for educational purposes only. If you need legal advice, talk to an attorney one-on-one or book a legal strategy session with Anasa Law Firm at anasalawfirm.com. So in today's video, we are talking about legal strategy for your signature, frameworks, methods, or whatever strategy you've put together that your clients know you for, the thing that is special and valuable to your business, the way that you execute your services in your industry. This is an asset to your business. So we're going to talk about the legal strategy that you need to have behind it in order for your business to grow. Let's first agree that we want to increase revenue in business, right? Point blank, period. And when it comes to legal, we want to make sure we're protected while we're doing that, right? Decreasing our risk and increasing revenue. Decrease risk, increase revenue. When it comes to legal strategy, these two operate together. Decrease risk to increase revenue. That means, how do we need to be protected now? What risk needs to be minimized in our businesses now, in our operations now, in our client relationships now? How do we protect ourselves now in order to get to where we want to go? And that is usually increased revenue, fine-tune operations, more clients, right? Whatever that business goal is, more speaking opportunities, collaborations, licensing, and being able to leverage what you already created to grow your business to increase revenue. What do we do now in point A in order to get to point B? That is what legal strategy is about. Usually, when it comes to legal, consultants, expert providers, and a lot of independent business owners see legal as operating on its own. You go to a lawyer when you need something, when you're in trouble, when you need a contract, when you need to file a trademark, and it's kind of just that thing in its own box. But what most service providers and consultants don't realize is your client contract specifically, right? Legal as a whole is connected to your entire business, but your client contract is an essential piece of your business because number one, you need clients to come through the door. You need to be able to serve them to generate revenue, keep the business going and growing. But also, it's connected to your delivery of services, your policies and operations. It has your signature frameworks and methods, not in it, but you're going to be using it to help your clients out. So you want to use your client contract to be able to protect that, to lay out any boundaries, address any risks, etc. Right? It is an essential legal element in your business. So you want to make sure that it is protecting you now in order to get to where you need to go. You want to make sure that when it comes to your signature framework or method, that it is properly protected now in order for you to use it for your business growth. If you are picking up what I'm putting down, please drop a 1 or a yes in the comments, whether you're watching on YouTube or LinkedIn. Let me know we're on the same page, right? We want to protect ourselves now, not just to say we're protected, not just to avoid trouble. We want to protect our signature frameworks, not just to make sure other people don't steal it, right? That is a valid concern. We definitely want to make sure people keep their hands off. They're not inspired by what we've put out there, especially when we're working with clients who might be in the same or similar line of business. We want to make sure that that's protected. We don't want anyone else taking it from us. That is valid. But the other portion of protection is like, for what? Right? What is that other for what for? We want to make sure it's protected so other people don't steal it. And then what else, right? When other people don't steal it, it's exclusive to you. That brings it more, that makes it more valuable in your client relationship, in your business, in your industry, and the marketplace. And when it's exclusive to you, that's something that only you have power over. That is something that only you wield in the marketplace, which makes it even more valuable because other people can't touch it, because other people aren't supposed to be, copying you, because it's now strongly identified with your business and brand. Coca-Cola, for example, The Coca-Cola recipe is a secret. It is exclusive to Coca-Cola and their company. And it's helped provide significant value to their now probably multi-billion dollar brand over decades, probably 100 years, over decades, right? Over a long period of time, it has contributed significant value to the company, to the point where no other drink company, a soft drink company, is going to even come close to the recipe or try to copy the recipe, because it kept it close to the chest, because it is exclusive to them. And now they have the power and the leverage behind that exclusivity to do multiple things to grow the business, to grow the brand, right? Protect it, make it exclusive, make sure that it serves your current needs, protect it how you need it now so that you can grow in the future. So let's use an example with experts like ourselves, right? We have signature frameworks and methods that we've become known for, and we want to make sure that it's just us that's known for those things. And in order to do that, we need to protect it. So for example, right now I'm working on a certification program with my client who is an expert when it comes to rest and wellness practices for people individually, right, in their personal lives, but also professionally, and specifically for professional corporate individuals. She has put together a framework that is valuable in her industry to the point where other practitioners want to learn how to use it, right? They see its value and they want to adopt that framework into their own practices, into their own businesses. And so these people are now her clients through her certification program. And when we're drafting the client contract for these people to come in and learn the ins and outs of the framework, right? To be able to take it, learn it, adapt it into their business, we need to make sure that the contract terms are clearly state what they need to do with that framework, right? How they're allowed to use it, what portions they're allowed to make derivatives from, if any, what portions they're not allowed to copy, what they can do with any supplemental materials like worksheets or modules that accompany the learning of the framework, right? We need to protect that now. So we're making a strategy to protect that now, to make sure that my client has control over how her framework is put out there, even when people are learning the ins and outs of it, so that they can adopt it to their own business. And then when those people get certified, those people are also going to have additional terms and conditions and rules and requirements that they need to abide by in order to maintain that certification. They need to use the intellectual property a certain way. They can't use it in other ways, right? They're going to have those guidelines. That is how we're protecting it now, so that in the future, my client can continue to run programs or rounds of her certification program and let other practitioners in to learn her framework so they can add it to their business and their practices. This whole time, my client is achieving her goal of making more money and working less, right? By leveraging her protected asset, which is her framework. My client is just like me and a lot of other clients that I have. We're human, right? We want to frolic. We want to be happy. We have children that we want to spend our time with. We have spouses. We have family members. We want to travel. We want to enjoy life. And although we love running our businesses, we can't do it all like to the bone, right? We can't do it, like it can't be our end all be all. We don't always want to work like tens of hours a week. There has to be some space and opportunity to leverage. And that comes when you do protect what you've already created, which is your frameworks, which is your methods, and find a way to leverage those to increase your revenue or achieve your goals faster. Again, decrease risk. What do we need to do to protect ourselves now in order to increase revenue? So running this program multiple times is going to allow her to do less heavy lifting, less hands-on work, less one-on-one work, which can also be draining from a time and an energy standpoint. And y'all probably know what I'm talking about. So now she gets to leverage that and make more money, right? Doing the same thing over and over and over again. Make more money faster, develop it into a whole certification program. And that is just one example of how you can leverage your expertise. But you have to make sure that when it comes to legal strategy, when it comes to what they're calling monetization, there has to be a protective element first. So if you hear anyone talking about monetize your framework, monetize your genius, monetize your expertise, and they're not talking about protection, they're not telling you about trademarks and copyrights and legal strategy, etc., they probably won't break it all the way down for you, especially if they're not a lawyer. But at the very least, there needs to be some protective element. They need to be telling you, okay, protect this so that you can do that with it, right? Again, legal strategy. We decrease risk in order to increase revenue or get to whatever that desired goal is. And if you don't currently have a legal strategy for your business growth plans to make sure that those growth plans are protected, that you're running your business in a way where there's minimal risk, right? You're not exposed where you don't need to be, etc. Then you need to make sure you lock something in place before you take on that big growth, because more growth, more clients, more revenue means more risk. And the goal is to what? Decrease risk so we can increase revenue. And you can easily do that by starting a conversation with me. Book a legal strategy session where we will sit down for 1 hour and go through where you are now, how you need to be protected in order to get to where you want to be. We will talk about your business, your legal protection, and your goals, and find a way to tie the two together so you can see the clear path of your protection needs and your business goals. You can go to anasalawfirm.com to book that legal strategy session. Again, that is 1 hour. The investment is $550, or you can book a complimentary consultation to talk about your client contract needs. And with that being said, decrease risk to increase revenue. They're always connected. Keep that with you.